Hey y'all, welcome back to For the Fans, where tonight we are so excited to talk about another week inside the BBCAN Manor, where this week was a little more tame than last week. Nobody quit. There was just a few fights, and we made it all the way through with an HOH, a veto, and an eviction. So, we're going to call this week a win in the BBCAN house. Tonight, I am joined by Karen and Sheldon and the cat Claudia. So, how are you guys doing tonight?
I am doing great. I'm so excited to be talking about Big Brother Canada, mostly because you're right. We had our first real normal week. Although it wasn't even normal because it was invisible, but at least we got through everything without some stupid boys having a hissy fight, a hissy fit. So that was fun. It was cool. And I also have to say, I think we're in the midst of watching Queen Kuzi get her crown by the end of the season. So if we get anything good out of this week, out of the season, it's the fact that Kuzi has been gracious to have graced us on our television screen. So thank you, Kuzi, and go take your win.
Karen, what are you thinking about the season so far?
If anyone knows anything about me, and I'm not the biggest Big Brother fan, but I would call this season palatable.
We'll take it.
Yeah. I was never. I mean, I've watched the past few seasons of American Big Brother. I'm not one to watch live feeds or anything, so that has no effect on my opinion on the show because I'm not watching them anyway. But I don't know. So far, I feel like the cast is entertaining enough. I'm really enjoying Kuzi. I was very undecided for a while, but this past week, I kind of go ahead.
Karen, what is it about Big Brother that you're just like this? You know what? I love because you love strategy. That's what I know about you. You're extremely bright. You love social gameplay. You get that. But what is it about Big Brother specifically that says, you know what? I prefer Survivor.
I think it's because I get the idea that Big Brother is not for smart people. That's the vibe I get from it. It just seems less strategic. The casting seems to be cast dumber people. And I just I feel like production gives them lines that they have to say and be goofy and do this. It seems a lot more fake than Survivor.
I think that's one of the things I like about BBCAN as opposed to BBUS is it does feel a little more authentic in that it's a lot less okay, we want you to really give us this rehearsed line where, BBUS definitely does that now. They didn't used to, but BBCAN kind of lets them be a little bit more themselves, which I think just comes across more authentic and better, which is probably why I've enjoyed a lot of the BBCAN seasons. The season's obviously a little different and a little rough, but it's still Big Brother.
I agree with both of you, and to be honest, that argument that you're giving, Karen, is really the reason why truly I'm kind of disappointed in this season. And listen, this is a Big Brother podcast. We're all fans of reality TV. That's why we love this. We love watching the gameplay. We love watching people make moves. But there's this this feels like a U.S. cast to me. This feels like a diverse U.S. cast, but and really that's the difference. It just feels like there are people here who do not understand, don't have a clue what they're doing. I could probably count on half a hand how many smart people there are in this game, people that are actually playing the game, thinking strategically. And then you have Dan. And it's just a whole lot of nothing for me. And it's very hard. One of the reasons I have loved Kuzi is not just her personality. Look, her personality is great, but it's the fact that she's smart as hell. And I love watching smart people do smart things and do things that I'll never be able to do. And I'm just not getting a lot of that from this season. So I'm not as, you called it palatable. I guess it's palatable enough for me. But I can honestly tell you that I'm not waiting for Tuesday nights to come. Like I'm not. Sometimes I kind of feel
Right.
like a chore. And again, here we are doing this podcast, and I'm shitting on this, but that's just how I feel. I hate it. I hate it because especially after the last few seasons of Big Brother Canada that have been riveting to watch and exciting. And do better. Do better is all I could say.
I think that we kind of keep coming back to this thing that there's like some disconnect with this season. And if that is that they had planned to do like an all stars and it fell through and they just kind of had to like put this cast together a little bit more last minute than what is typical, or I don't know, like we're like coming out of these crazy times, like, maybe people can't, I'm back at work. I cannot take off, 2 months to go play Big Brother. And, like if maybe, I mean, not trying to too hard go into the stereotype of them being dumb people, but maybe some of the more successful people are unavailable.
Maybe.
I don't know.
But well, let's talk about what happened this week, because there were some really cool moments. And I just shat on Dan. There was something going on at least this week with Dan where we thought he had a brain. That was nice to see.
All right. Well, there is a lot to get into from this past week. It was our whodunit week. Da-da-dum. And like in concept, I love this, but in reality, we know none of these bitches can keep a secret.
I'm surprised. Well, I'm surprised the HOH didn't get out more. Like, so Santina was the HOH and tells John, is his name Jonathan?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he doesn't tell anyone, right?
For a while.
Oh, okay. I mean, as I say, I am a casual viewer, so I'm not like glued like I am.
No. So, I mean, it seems like he kept it a secret for a while, and then the veto happens, and he's like, I better tell everybody. And so he then tells his 4 alliance members, and it does seem like maybe this group keeps it quiet, but I have a feeling that any secret Big Daniel knows, the whole house is going to eventually know, because I think he's not the most trustworthy. So
Daniel?
yeah. So I mean, I am so disappointed that Santina literally, she couldn't keep it a secret for 10 minutes, it seems like. They came back in the house. She immediately is in the room with Jonathan, and she's like, "You're going to be fine." And he's like, "You think so?" She's like, "I know so."
So here's the thing. Like, I actually did not have a problem with her telling Jonathan. And here's why. Santina is in this horrific, that's going too far, in a really crappy position in this house. She picked a side on week 1. The side that she picked just so happened to be a bunch of douchebags, excuse my French, and the people that she fundamentally couldn't work with. They're people that used her and arguably abused her. And one of the things I don't think she has the ability to do is figure out how to fix the relationships with the girls and everybody else on the other side of the house that she screwed over in those first few weeks. We haven't seen her trying either, by the way. And so the only person in the house that she has any semblance of any relationship with has to be the only one that she could trust. So for me, it is not beyond the pale that she went ahead and told Jonathan. Because listen, you need, like, the fact that he knows about this is a positive for their relationship. Is it actually going to help her stay in the game longer? It might. It truly might. But here's the thing. Santina is number 6 or number 5 on Jonathan's pecking order, in Jonathan's trust order, right? He is not number 1 and 2. But the opposite is that Jonathan is her number 1. And it's just she's in this really tight position, and she had one piece of information, one piece of power. She had to do something with it. So she did it.
Yeah, also, I think, like, personally, I really like to talk strategy through with another person.
Yep.
So I can also understand someone wanting to do that, and you did see her do that throughout the week, but
Maybe I could tolerate it a little bit more, but it seemed like such a rash and impulsive thing. Like I said, it was an immediate. She got up to the room. She wasn't even positive that she was the HOH. She was like, I think that number was mine, but I'm not even 100% sure." And then immediately tells Jonathan, "I think it's a thing of like, okay, like I've had time to think about it. This is why I want to tell Jonathan. I want to be able to bridge that gap and try to, pull my game up from the gutter, separate myself from these boys and how they've just drugged me down with them. And this is how I'm going to do it." And maybe a little more intentionality behind it, where that's what it's lacking for me.
Would would there not be a benefit? So, like, I think there was a bit of a missed opportunity this week for Santina. I think that this was the week that, yes, it was an invisible HOH, but I think she should have made it extremely visible, because she's somebody who has no relationships outside of Jonathan.
Right.
And so the only way to create relationships is to go to people and say, "Come, I'm alone. I need help. I'm not going to put you up, but I need to," as Karen said, "talk through this strategy. And I want you to know I'm doing my best. I'm all alone here. I need somebody. I'm never going to put you up, and I'm going to do whatever you want from me as long as you give it back." Like, it feels like she missed an opportunity to create an alliance, to create something that she is in some way a part of.
And for someone to be in a bad position, I feel like Santina did not help herself in any way this week.
No.
She kept
Like the
Ty
opposite.
in the house, who, she like put on this big front of, "What? I would never nominate you. What?" And then, the controversy with, is it her? Is it Renee? And then she throws out Anika's name as a possibility. So it's like, ooh, burned a lot of bridges here.
I feel this was a very bad week for her socially.
Yeah, and there's just, I don't want to talk about her as a human because I've talked so much bad about Zach as a human, but I don't know. There's just, like, when she's down, she seems really down, and then when she's up, she gets cocky. It's strange.
So I'm like on this borderline of enjoying Santina. She's kind of villainous, and
Oh, I think we lost Kiley.
I thought it was me. So I'm just sitting there like staring off. I'm like, my internet went out. It was Kiley.
It was Kiley. So yeah, she was calling her villainous. And I sort of agree, but the thing about a villain is a villain asserts power. She hasn't, like, yes, she's won to HOH, she's done things, but she does. You get power in the game not from winning competitions. You get power in the game by having social strategy. And so, yes, she's asserted some power, but I don't know how it's benefited her in the short or the long term. Kiley, you broke up when you said you're on the borderline of liking her because she has evil moments or villainous moments.
Yeah. I'm sorry about that. Lost a little bit of some signal strength here. But she has like these evil tendencies, and I'm kind of here for it. I'm interested to see if she's able to find her way, because she's got a long road ahead of her. But she's interesting to me in a season of a lot of people that just are not interesting. She gives me something and makes me at least like a little bit root for her, root against her. And that's kind of what I like from a TV personality. I want to either like love you or hate you. I don't want to feel nothing towards you. And so Santina makes me feel something.
I can agree with that. I feel it. Yeah, there's a lot of dull people, although I feel like a lot of the dull people are leaving. Oh, I don't know.
There's just a lot of dull people. All right. Let's specifically though talk about the HOH competition and the strategy behind, like, okay, you get to BBCAN has decided that they are going to increase the prize this season to $150,000, which is still so laughable, compared to like the US amounts. But that's okay. $150,000. What?
It's tax-free though, right?
Correct.
Sheldon,
It is.
yes. Okay. Yeah.
It is tax free. However, just to put it into context, it is $110,000 US.
110.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right. So,
Oh, look, you're still
but
making more money after 50%
sure,
taxes in the
sure.
United States. It's a small country, folks. Small country.
But they get to decide to wager some of that 50 grand, and whatever is left over will be added to the prize pot. What do you think about this as a twist? Because I have some thoughts.
I think that the 50,000 was never in their budget because they
Ding.
knew.
I agree there.
They knew that they would bet it all.
They were like,
Yeah, and look,
hopefully we don't have to find $50,000.
yeah, no,
Because
it's
can
a
cover
fun
no one.
it's a fun little game mechanic of it was very obvious somebody was going to bet the whole $50,000.
Right.
And the truth is, if you're sitting in that chair, the real decision was not do you want to go for that $50,000? It was do you want HOH or not? If you really wanted HOH, you didn't bet $50,000. If you did, you bet $50,000 and hoped that tiebreaker would actually help. But I have to say, that said, what I did like the most about this is something that I wish we would have gotten more of through this week. It was that once they left that room where they had to decide what they're betting or not, going to that large round table and having a seat with everybody else in that darkness, everybody trying to see on their faces who did what happened. I wanted more of that. And in fact, what I think they missed in this week is they should have done a lot more shit where the invisible HOH or the invisible veto had some other invisible tasks that they had to do to bug the house, to burn somebody's hat, to do something invisible. And that, like, I think it was just a bit of a wasted
Like a saboteur.
Yeah, like, look, but I believe that specific HOH was on the mole in terms of the actual challenge this past season on Netflix. And that table was certainly on the traders. So they're certainly stealing other reality television ideas. I just think that there's so much more they could have done. And
so
I
what
wonder if they've been, the last few weeks have been, listen, 6 cast members left. Three of which were properly voted out, 3 of which walked out. Like, I think they've probably been so overwhelmed the last 4 weeks, they didn't know what the heck they were doing, and they just wanted the week to run smoothly for once. So, like, yeah, we got this plan, let's do it. No more doing anything crazy shit. Let's just do it.
What I wanted from it is, I mean, I feel like we had this in Big Brother All Stars, the real All Stars, not season 22 or whatever. Okay, but in BB7, we had this veto competition where it was basically, how badly do you want it? That's where we saw Chicken George go on slop for the rest of the season. And I even feel like we have seen it in BBUS, and I may be misremembering the season, but we have seen where they have been willing to bet some of the cash prize. And so what I would have liked to have seen is like, okay, how much of this $50,000 are you willing to bet? Because if you get to the end, this is how much you can win. So Santina gets to the end, she can win $100,000. If Renee gets to the end and she wins 127,000 or whatever it was. Of whatever is left over, this is going to be your winning if you are the Big Brother winner at the end. That is what I would have really liked to have seen. I'm positive we've had it in BBUS, and kind of a how badly do you want it versus how badly do you want this HOH.
I like that. I like the idea. I mean, I just like the idea in general of the invisible HOH or whatever. But I think it could have been more juicy later on in the game, like just a little later.
Yeah.
Do you ladies think that you'd be able to keep the secret?
Yeah.
I'm a bad liar. Like, I don't think I would. No, everybody would know.
I don't know that I'm a good liar, but if I'm determined to keep a secret, I can keep a secret.
I can keep a secret.
Noted.
I'm a very good secret keeper, and I absolutely
a good ally.
I absolutely would not tell anybody. I just
No,
wouldn't have.
but I don't. My thing is not telling everybody. It's just like I would walk out of that room with a sly smile on my face. Like that would be my issue. I can't hold my emotions in.
Oh, can we talk about Renee's face?
Oh.
Like,
Yeah.
I would have thought
So,
she was in it too.
If Rob
I
was in
saw
my
that,
house,
like, what are you
I would
doing?
like that face.
so let's talk about them at like Sheldon, you talked about, they're at the round table, they're kind of discussing like how much they've wagered. A few people have fessed up that they did go for 50,000. Some people are telling the truth and that they did not go for 50,000. And I mean, I was surprised our girl Renee, even in a competition like this, she still came in last place. It's a talent. What can she do? And so even a competition of how badly do you want it, she can't quite pull it out. But she does kind of give off this air of suspicion where you just can't. It's the over the top facial reactions, like Karen said, and she just comes across a little sus.
But this, she's been kind of sus this entire game, and just her personality.
Yeah.
So the fact that, like, I don't know, good game players would realize there hasn't been a deviation from the mean. This girl who does this after Dan cooks her dinner, like
Yeah.
like the face was the same. So yes, it's sus for you and I who haven't lived with her for a month. But what? They all should know that's just Renee. She's an over dramatic, like that's who she is. By the way, she doesn't live that far away from me.
I think that's a great point, Sheldon. Like, you gotta, like, you can read into people's body languages or whatever, but if you don't know their baseline and how they are as a person, then your reads can be wildly incorrect.
And they spent a month with her. It's not like they just walked into the house. They know her.
Yeah. There's a lot of people, Dan, with some really, really terrible reads. And so it's not surprising that they're just, automatically off base. But I don't know.
Can I just give some love to her because she was on the block for 2 weeks.
I really like Renee.
She's been great entertainment. Her voice annoys me. I'll be honest, but outside of that, like she's spice. She's different. She's kind of kooky and weird. She's heading to law school, so there's obviously a brain somewhere there. Like she is a very dynamic character. I am happy she's in that house.
Yeah.
I keep wondering because I keep hearing them say like, "Oh, Renee's really smart. She really knows this game or whatever." But I haven't seen much evidence of that yet. But
I think she might be a
so,
big fan, and she's just at this point not been able to translate it into the gameplay.
She hasn't had power to demonstrate that ability either,
Right.
right? Like you need an HOH or two to actually start making some actions, taking some action. So, like at this point, I don't know. Like one of the things I have to say I did like is during that HOH competition, she said, "Oh my God, I need this money. $50,000 will get me law school and to do a few like there's something like I was just like, yeah, that's exactly how I would be thinking if I was there. Like I would be like checking out. I would be thinking about my grocery list. I'm like, yeah, this is a few months of grocery. Like there's something about that to me that was like, okay, I kind of could work with that.
I mean, if I am in that room and I'm sitting there having to come up with this idea, I am going to bet all $50,000 because I came here with the expectation to win $100,000. So that $50,000 doesn't mean shit to me. So I am betting all 50 G's.
Yeah, that's you, Kylie. I don't know if I would, honestly. I don't know if I would, mostly because I'm the type of player that would want to stay as low as I possibly can for as long as I possibly can.
Right. Now, I mean, and that is completely dependent on if you want to win the HOH or not. But assuming that you want the power and that you can keep a secret and that you want to do something with the secret power, then I'm all in. Like, it doesn't bother me to give up this 50 grand because I wasn't planning to have this 50 grand anyways. So,
yeah, but it's not just like 50 grand is a third more than the actual prize. Like That's a shit ton of money.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, $50,000 is a lot of money. I could do a lot with $50,000. Don't get me
Yes,
wrong.
please.
But in the scenario of you're still just, like you're one of 11 people that could win this money, and you weren't expecting to win $150,000. So to me, it's not a big deal to wager it all. But after Santina wins, we get her thought process, and she does sit down and talk with our boy Jonathan, which Jonathan, he's such a sweet little soul. I mean, I feel like we've had this exact same guy play a couple seasons ago. What was his name? He was also, from he played in season 6. I can't think of his name
Jonathan
now.
is who I think of when I think of a Canadian.
Yes, he's so Canadian. He's so nice.
He's like
And
nice.
the accent, you
Yeah.
can't understand him. But so she sits down and she starts kind of going through her options. And ultimately, she's like, I want Dan out of the game. What do y'all think about this approach from Santina? Do you think this is the right direction for her to aim her gun?
I want to know why she didn't gun for Kuzi, who very obviously wanted her out and has some power in the house.
Yeah, I don't get anything that happened this week.
Although I don't know if the votes would be there, but all right, who could Santina put up with Kuzi to make Kuzi go?
Nobody. Kuzi doesn't go. Everybody loves Kuzi. It's just like I don't think at this point, and that's part of the reason why I think that we're watching her basically be crowned right now, is that nobody wants her out. Ty and friends don't want her out. The girls don't want her out. The royalty or the crown, whatever they're called, they don't like. Nobody wants this girl out. She is so solid. Hell, they even showed in the eviction episode that she was Canada's best win. And instead of sitting there being upset about that, thinking, "Holy crap, Canada likes her. There's something good that she's doing," they all freaking celebrated. Why? Because they like her. So I think anytime somebody's beside Kuzi, that's a great opportunity to get rid of the winner of the game. But that's not happening.
And I mean, like, I think, once again, you are the secret HOH. Everybody loves Kuzi, and Kuzi has something against you. Put Kuzi's ass up there. Put Kuzi up. Put Ty up. Put Dan up. Whoever it is that you also would not mind leaving the house. And, whatever happens, happens. But at least you have the anonymity, if you can keep your mouth shut, of being able to hide behind the secret HOH.
I also don't fully understand. It seemed to me that this week there was this feeling that Dan is this immense threat. And sure, I could give you that he is this immense threat from the fact that he could probably win competitions. He has won a competition. So has Daniel by the end of this week. So, sure, so he could win things. He's got muscles. And he cooks. Congratulations. But where is this, he can't think through the game. Where is this threat level coming from? I would much rather Ty out. Much rather Ty out.
Do you think them calling him a threat is just a nice way of
could be.
Yeah.
But then what did she do this week? She got rid look, Dan would not have won this game, period, full stop. So, she had a useless week. She did nothing. Hell, I would argue that Claudia would have been the big move. Claudia actually has a chance of winning this game.
Put Claudia and Ty up together.
Claudia and Ty would have been fantastic.
Yeah. But also in the big scheme of things, Ty is not a threat either. Ty is not going to win.
No.
Ty is not going to win Big Brother Canada. You've got to look at these people like Kuzi, like Renee, like Claudia. Those are your threats to win, not Ty. I mean, he is this big, loud personality and, so over the top, so cocky. He's not going to win, though.
Can you guys
the move Kuzi and Claudia on the block?
Yeah, I love that. That's spicy.
Can you guys explain Ty to me? because I just fundamentally do not understand his personality. I sometimes don't understand like what he's trying. I don't get his strategy. He just seems a little bit like a toddler who keeps on having hissy fits. Again, explain Ty to me.
He
I
seems
think
to me
he's
like
a
somebody
person.
who struggles with communication, and that's like
And that's who they cast on Big Brother, a television show where you need to communicate.
yeah. I don't know. Do you feel like what do you think, Kylie?
So here's the thing about Ty is I'm glad that he is still there. Like I am glad that he did not leave with Zach. And I even said it about Zach is you know, sometimes it's good to have that person to root against. Like this person sucks so much. Like I cannot stand him. And that's kind of how I feel about Ty. Like Ty at least brought some things this week. Yes. Do I think he's a complete dick? Absolutely. Like I think Claudia should be like running in the opposite direction,
I don't
especially
get that either.
as like a romantic partner. He gives like such red flags. I think he's probably not like a very nice person in real life. But and I don't think he's a good Big Brother player. I don't think he has any chance to win the game, but he is interesting and he is doing things. He's doing things, y'all.
But it sounds like the things that he's like. I kind of agree with you, Karen.
He thinks he's good, but he's not.
Oh, he thinks he's God. He thinks that like I think he still thinks he's running shit. But I kind of agree with you, Karen, that he does have a communication problem, certainly. But it feels like it's something that sometimes I think I struggle with. I don't always know how to express my emotions. So when I try to like it becomes sort of like I'm angry or I'm anxious or I'm upset or whatever. And I don't have the ability to communicate that. So whatever comes out is just like anger and vile and like it's just like that's he reminds me of me.
I think that communication issue is very common in his archetype. You know, like kind of like a
bro.
Yeah, I was about to say bro. So I mean, it's not surprising, but that's also why I don't enjoy those types of people on my TV because I don't know. It's like watching a telenovela sometimes, where it's like you have this whole storyline where it's like you could have solved it all in 30 seconds by just like talking a little bit about your feelings and you know, we would like, I don't know.
Well, so the other thing I just wanted to talk about, when Santina told Jonathan that she was the invisible HOH, she left the room, and I don't know, Jonathan did something that was so weird to me. He started like I don't know what this is, hitting his what the heck is that? I've never seen anything like that.
Manly move, Sheldon.
That's manly? That's like monkeys do this. Like, what is that?
It's manly. It's like
that is not manly.
Like it's primal. I mean, you're exactly right. Like you see like gorillas bang their chests. Like this is a primal manly move. I mean,
I was like, what the? I liked you a second ago. Now, what is this?
Well, I mean, it's one of those things that we're, you know, once again, they're not going to cast just, you know, even killed people. They need somebody that when your ally leaves the room, you're like, yes, they did it for us. You know, Hope's reaction whenever he finds out that this is a secret HOH, where he's just like, oh my gosh, a secret HOH. But what word did he keep saying?
Invincible HOH.
Invincible, not invisible. Invincible.
When you just said Hope, I was just like,
I have to say, Hope has been growing on me, and like his reactions to like somebody made breakfast and he gets so excited, he starts jumping around and dancing.
And I love that. I don't even know what it was, but he would like jumped on the couch and he was just so excited, and I love that energy.
This is literally why I could never ever play Big Brother, because I'd be like, this motherfucker here is annoying me, because the over the top reactions would just drive me absolutely crazy.
If it's genuine excitement, then like I love it.
I think that some of his might be genuine, but
I do too. But if it seems fake at all to me, then I'm like, I hate you. Like,
I actually think it's real, and I get a sense that there's a lot of gratitude that comes from him.
Yeah,
like, I think that's who Hope is, which is probably why like he gives so much to people in other countries. His job is.
I mean,
you know, but like that's who he is.
I told y'all from the beginning, like literally cast assessment when we saw Marianne, like her super sweet, but I could not live with Marianne on a beach, and I'm going to maintain that. Like Marianne would have drove me absolutely teetotal crazy. That is
Okay,
just not my personality type.
certainly, but if living on the beach equals you win $1 bazillion, you're gonna shut your mouth, roll your eyes when you turn your head, and live on the beach with Marianne.
But I'm gonna try to vote her out, and I'm gonna try to vote Hope out. Like the over the top reactions, which is what Big Brother wants, and it's what Survivor wants. They want those personalities. And I mean, my gosh, like Marianne is, one in a million. Like I am not shitting on her at all as a person, as a Survivor player, a winner. Like I think she's amazing. I'm talking about me personally, what I could handle to live with, and
I
that
don't,
would not be that personality type.
but Kylie, you like me, so like, and I'm a little crazy too. So you
You're
want to
not
help
like
me out?
that, and you're not.
I could get crazy when I'm in groups of people that I don't know. I definitely like the extrovert comes out because that's the only way I could deal with my anxiety. So
No,
I think
I
you
don't
can.
mind extrovert. Like I like talkative. Obviously, I love to talk. I could sit here and talk all by myself for an hour
We know.
and not have to have anybody else's contributions. It's not the talking, it is the emotional outburst that is where I would have a hard time. Same thing with like Carolyn. I would have a hard time with
Oh,
Carolyn.
excuse me. Do
Absolutely love
not
her.
talk about Carolyn in any negative way. She is a queener queen than Kuzi. I
I
love that woman. If that woman is
know.
going to win Survivor
I know all of
44,
these things.
nerds
I know
unite.
them. I'm just saying what I could not handle. And so, that was but back to how this all got started is, Jonathan pounding on his chest. It was a very out of character moment for
Weird,
him.
weird,
And so
weird.
I can handle it in some small outbursts.
Oh, sorry. I'm getting bit by a cat.
So small outbursts, I can handle it, but constant over the top, I cannot.
Excuse me. Karen got bit by her cat, and I have to do my Renee. Mouths wide open.
All right. So at the end of the HOH episode, though, we do see the secret nominations. And I mean, like, I love the little voice over that's like, I am the secret HOH. And like the inflection changes and everything. And we see Dan and Ty hit the block, and Ty's pissed, y'all. Like, how dare somebody do this? And how freaking predictable. And temper tantrum Ty. Here we go.
Yep. Yeah, it was typical, and yeah, look, just the way he behaves, and honestly, he was an easy person to put up on the block.
Mhm.
And if I was in Santina's shoes, he's not working with me anymore. He never truly was working with me.
Right.
So yeah, I'm going to stab him in the back, in the front, in whichever way I possibly can. So yeah, I've got no problem with that. And look, if his number one ally is Dan, fine, let's do that too.
Yeah, no, like I love her putting him up on the block, and I love where she is immediately like, I would never put him on the block if she just hadn't already told somebody that she was the secret HOH, and people know that at least one person in the house knows that she is lying. And now you're putting your lying skills on full display.
Yep.
And so that is going to create some type of paranoia with your alliance member. If they're like, damn, Santina's kind of good at this. Like, this is also where I really hate her decision to tell somebody. If you're going to go full on of over the top acting of like, I cannot believe this. This is so devastating. Who would do this to Ty? I am going to win that veto and I'm going to take you off the block.
Preach. Yep. Look, completely 100,000% agree with you. Who would you have put up if you were Santina? Would you have done a Claudia Ty? Would you have done a Kuzi Daniel, like a Kuzi Anika? Like, what would you do?
So, I mean, it's hard to say. Like, if if it is me, Kylie, in her position, I'm putting Ty and Claudia up because Ty needs to go, and Claudia, if you can't see through it, then you need to go too. So peace out, Cub Scout. But if I am Santina, then yeah, I like the decision to do like a Kuzi and a Ty, or Kuzi and someone she is close with, Daniel or Anika, whoever. I mean, I almost feel like she can't go wrong because almost everybody is against her.
Yep. Yeah, she's in
Very
the worst.
point.
She's in the best worst situation. Anybody goes up, great. She's going to be out. Like, she's extremely expendable, and that's sometimes in Big Brother that means she is a tiebreaker. Sometimes, like there's use in that, but I don't think she has the social ability to leverage the fact that she's on nobody's team, and so she could be somebody's vote that is required to get somebody's task done. I just don't think she has the social ability to do that.
Right. So heading into, well, no. Before we get to the veto competition, we have this conversation with Ty and Hope. And I actually do love this moment from Hope, where Hope is like, man, like, I didn't get a chance to tell you, but like, I just want things to be worked out between us and smoothed over. And I just want you to know you're my boy. And like, if I get drawn for that veto, I am gunning for you and I am going to take you off. And I was like, looking like Renee, okay? Because I was genuinely shocked that he has done this 180.
And then what happens?
Well, I mean, were y'all believing him when he is telling Ty this?
Well, I truly was.
Yeah.
I truly was believing him, and I was confused. And then Ty left the room, and what happened, Kiley?
He's like, hell no, I'm not going to do that. You suck. And I was like, I've been bamboozled because...
So you see, this is part of the reason why I truly believe that Hope is actually going to go far in this game. Like, I don't think he has the strategic ability to come up with a strong plan and see it through. But his personality is so likable, and he has a good, strong enough team around him that I think he's really well positioned. Like, I would not be surprised if he's at the end beside Kuzi. I truly would not be surprised.
I would like that at the end. I mean, obviously for a koozie win there, but
yeah.
But I feel like I don't know. I think I like Hope, even though he's like disappointing all the time. It's like a weird balance.
What is disappointing about him? He's extremely good looking.
I feel like he says a lot of dumb stuff. Like he says a lot of stuff because, like I said, I'm not necessarily like fixated on the TV when I'm watching, but he'll say something and I look up and I'm like, what? Like,
yeah,
what are you doing?
He has also done the 180. He's done this before. That's why I was not, like, okay, this is believable. But at first, I want to win. I'm so disappointed in myself. I got to bring one home for the boys. And he was all for that little guy's alliance until he found out that he was being manipulated a little bit. And so at least he had a backbone to at least like stand up to them. But, he got his feelings hurt because that was his first choice. And the crown is his second choice. And so that is one of the areas where Hope is just a little bit disappointing, where he is basically there to win competitions.
But hold on. Like,
he said that pregame. That's the only thing he wants to do is win competitions.
But here's the thing, like, he has been able to do what Santina has not been able to do. He's been able to leave the evil side, develop strong enough relationships, and embed himself in some alliance that puts him in a strong place in this game. Mm-hmm. Santina has not been able to do that. So, like, I have to give immense respect for that. Like, I'm not necessarily certain that was strategic and purposeful.
Correct.
But I don't care. He did it. Yeah. That's part of him. Like, I think so. One of the things I love about Kuzi is that, yes, she is strategic. Yes, she's hilarious. Yes, she's got this crazy personality. But a lot of that is just kind of innate to who Kuzi is as a human, mm-hmm. right? And so sometimes you kind of just get that luck of who you are is able to do things that other people cannot do.
Right. And Hope obviously has a personality that is like so magnetic. People are just going to be drawn to him. He does seem extremely nice, extremely easy to get along with. And so not to, like, hate to like be this person to label Santina this way, but she has the RBF. You know, like you look at her and she doesn't look approachable, and she kind of gives off
Ruth Bader Finsberg.
yes, Ruth Bader Finsberg face, and so she you know is maybe not quite as approachable, and it's a little bit harder to for her to integrate herself back into the house.
Yeah. And look, that's the same reason why Jonathan, like, it's not like Jonathan has done so much to so many people that he's been able to be trusted by Santina, by the Five, by right? It's just him. Like, who he is as a human is so lovely. Daniel, honestly, the same thing. He's fun. He is kooky. He is weird. He's eccentric. People just want to be around that, right? So, like, there is some of us have it, some of us don't. I don't have it always. Sometimes I do. Kylie definitely doesn't have it. But it's just the way it is. Some people are really and some people are going home in the first week.
Yeah.
I think that's something that actually isn't talked enough about in Final Tribals. Or I guess, what do you call the final tribal in a Big Brother game?
The final two.
Finale, whatever. Because like in any game, you are going into it as who you are. So like Santina can't do anything about her face and who she is as a person. Whereas like someone like Hope, like that's just how he is. Like
so but here's the thing though, like that was the beauty of last season's winner, Kevin Jacobs. I have to mention his name once every week.
We invoke him.
He was multiple people over that season, and he did have the ability to go and play roles, and that is kind of that's hard, right? And to me, that's what makes him one of the best winners of all time. That he was able to be sad, silly, nerdy, and then he turned into this big threat. That even when Josh had to make his choice, he was still not thought of as this big, like that is a hard skill. But at the end of the day, most of us can't do that. It's very hard to act for months.
If you can play outside of who you are, like that to me at the end is like, oh, like you're on another level here.
Yeah. And I only see that possibility of somebody like that in one person this season, and that is obviously Queen Kuzi. I don't see that there's really anybody else with that capability of.
So, but here's the thing. Like, here's where I kind of disagree with that. I actually think we're seeing the real Kuzi. I don't think this is a show. Like, no. And the thing about me that is in her favor this season is honestly that the cast is not that strong strategically, and so they should know how dangerous she is. At this point in the game, they've seen enough from her. They spent enough time with her. She was on that block and went after those two guys. Like, they should know that she is a threat. I actually think they know she's a threat. The difficulty that they don't do is they won't do, I don't believe, or at least we haven't seen enough evidence of it just yet, is that I don't think that they're ever going to go against her because they love her, right? And I think they all think that she's on their side. So I think she's in the opposite situation of Kevin, in the sense that Kevin, everybody underestimated him in this entire game. Right. I think everybody's overestimating Kuzi.
I don't think that they're playing similar games. I'm saying that I can see those traits from Kuzi, in that she can be the best friend and hang out with, Daniel and Anika, and, braid Daniel's hair and pretend to be shocked when he reveals that he's the veto winner. But then she can go head to head with the big alpha bro and, take him on, give this fierce ass speech when she puts him up on the block. Like, she's multifaceted, and a lot of these people in terms of being game players are very, very one-dimensional.
Here's the difference. Here's my point, I think. She's showing it in public. Everybody sees everything that's going on. She is not hiding her strength. And that's where I'm a little bit concerned for her. If it was last season's cast, if it was the seasons before cast, I just don't think this cast is strong enough strategically to say, holy crap, I know she's a threat. I need to get her out.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah. So I agree with that. I mean, I agree with that part. Her game is way more visible than what Kevin's was. Kevin did a very, very good job of keeping his game hidden until it was way too late. And then, he gives like this final speech that just, like he gives a final speech that can only be rivaled by Taylor's final speech, 3 months later.
Yeah,
But
a little bit different in terms of its content, obviously.
sure.
But it was a slap in everybody's face in the best way possible. But the other thing, though, that Kevin was able to do is that they didn't seem to realize how big of a threat he was until they left the house. In this game, I think all of them need to be able to understand how big of a threat is before they leave the house, and they're still going to walk out the house. So like that's the beauty of Kevin Jacobs. And I'm not trying to say anything bad about Kuzi because I love her. I think she's
it sounds like you are.
No, she's the only bright light of the season, period, full stop for me. And I hope she does well. I hope she goes forward. I hope she wins. But it's a little bit of an easier situation for her.
Sure. All right. So one other thing to get into before we get to the veto competition is our girl Renee. And Renee is pissed. 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 And I mean, I wish that is one fun thing that I do think like Big Brother does, where I would have loved to have seen a pissed count because she said it probably 20 times in this little block of television, and she's pissed. She is pissed that somebody is trying to pin this on her. She is pissed that people don't believe her. She is pissed that, she's pissed. She's pissed at Santina for coming in the room. She is pissed at Ty for being a person. She is pissed that she can't win competitions, and she's pissed at herself.
For being a person. Look, what would you do in this situation? Because really, like what are you going to do? Like, you can't convince somebody. So what do? You either be pissed or you just say, yeah, I am the secret. Like, I don't know. What are you supposed to do?
The thing is, like, the more upset you get about something, the more guilty you look.
Yep.
And that's what we see later on with Santina, where she's like blowing up. I'm like, ooh. So at least I feel like Renee kept it together a little better, but I also can understand the frustration.
Right. I mean, I think she just she has definitely been playing this whole season from a backseat position. And this is just another example of like, she's like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, I'm finally not up on the block for, the second week in a row. And now all these accusations are flying that I'm the secret HOH, and I am just trying to get my footing like in this game and to try to get people to work with me. But she has been labeled this threat from week 1. And now she's being labeled as like, being this almost like traitor. And like, how dare you have won this HOH that she didn't win? And so you got to feel.
She's also being labeled a traitor, a big threat, after the fact that she keeps on coming in last place in absolutely everything, and she keeps on being on the block and at risk of like all signs point to not a threat.
Yeah.
I think what makes her a threat is she knows the game way more than 90% of the people in this house.
Which, like, so how well does she know it? Like,
I think she knows the game. I just don't think she's good at the game.
Like, who did they cast for this? I mean, I know we did the cast assessment, and I know the answer to that question, but like, if Renee is a threat for knowing the game too well, like, who are the rest of these people? Like, do you not know? Like, do you not do your home? Like, these are kids who don't do their homework.
Correct.
They come to their tests and they hope for the best. Can you all explain to me? I thought last week during Kuzi's HOH, we finally were seeing something that I think most of us have been waiting for decades to see on Big Brother: a female alliance that will actually do something good. And here we are, not even a week done, and that's gone. What the heck happened?
They don't work.
The women cannot hold it together. They can't hold it together.
Why? I don't get it.
That's why It makes no sense that historically this is something that anybody's afraid of, because I think it's worked
Right.
once in the history of all reality shows.
Yeah.
So like,
But it was so good that it's got everybody pressed 20 years later.
But seriously, what happened here? Like I don't get it. Why
Right.
did they all start doing like
Yeah.
what?
Penis.
Is it simply Thai? Like is that
Penis,
what it
yeah.
is?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
it was the Claudia loving Thai.
Yeah, I think that is the penises got in the way. Ties and Dan's, because you've got Nene and Cece out here with their two close male allies, and then you've got Daniel that's kind of in the mix with Kuzi and Anika,
So
and
Daniel's penis is also at fault.
right, penises. That's what the problem is.
I'm sorry, ladies. It's my fault. Yeah, I don't know.
All
I was
right.
so excited last week, and they seem to be really talking to each other and working well
Right. I was like,
together.
this is cool. And like, Kuzi heading it up. That's what I wanted to see.
And then
All right. So, anyways, time for the veto competition. What did y'all think about this competition as a whole?
meh,
Meh.
meh.
Yeah.
Meh. I wanted to get on the scale myself and see what would happen, but then I got scared and I didn't.
I thought it was at least even. Like anybody really could have won
Right.
it.
Yep.
Yeah, no,
Yep.
I
So
like
I like that.
competitions that are fair, and
Yeah.
the HOH and the veto competition both extremely fair. Anybody can win this.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And Daniel ended up winning this. And it was great to see him win it. The question was, what was he going to do with it?
Shock. And
Tell everyone everything.
yeah, so Daniel is going to get in the room. He is with his girls, Kuzi and Anika, and guess what, y'all?
What?
I won the secret veto.
Not a secret anymore.
The secret.
I won the secret veto.
Used to be a secret.
What do y'all think about the overall structure of this? Because like I kind of wanted the veto players to have been a secret so that not everybody knew who was even playing in it.
Oh, I like that idea actually. I didn't even think of that. But yeah, that would narrow it down, like keep it from being narrowed down.
Well, one of the things I was a little confused about is I guess they just didn't put Santina's name on the board. So that because the HOH and BBCAN isn't allowed to compete in veto. So
right.
I guess
so
they didn't put
her
name on
little
the
chess
board.
piece just wasn't out there. So she didn't get drawn.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I kind of like wanted it to be fully invisible. Nobody knew who would have competed. Nobody would have known anything at all.
Right.
Yeah.
So confused because then you can also, you can glean some information by who's playing in it. I mean,
who's playing in it means okay. We know one of the 5 of them are not the HOH.
Right. Exactly.
And we
These
know
5 are not HOH.
That's
So,
a great point.
And then, like based on their actions, we probably could also start deducing what did Daniel do and why. Like I don't know. It was rather surprising to me that is what happened.
yeah. So, anyways, we have this competition. They have to figure out the weights. Hope is terrible at this. Daniel does win it. Are y'all surprised that Daniel immediately tells his girls that he's the winner?
No.
Oh.
Seriously?
Well, I thought he was smarter than
Karen. Why?
Why? Why didn't you think he would word vomit?
Because he seems like a player and he seems to have a grasp on what's going on. So I don't see why, if it like you're given the opportunity to do whatever you want without consequences of people knowing. So why do you go and tell everybody and give up that anonymity?
Listen,
Right.
I think that he had to, and the reason he had to is because of what happened last week with Zach. I think he was so on the Zach train and so being some division between him and his girls that he like it was sort of his mea culpa, like, look, I'm giving you all my information. And that's his way to sort of say, look, I'm with you. I'm building trust. I'm rebuilding trust. Look, I'm telling you all of my secrets. So I think it was a strategic move. I don't know if he would have kept it a secret anyways. If he would have told them anyways, whether that happened with Zach or not. But I just think strategically it was the right move. I think he had to tell them.
So here's the thing: is I think that okay, I think that we skipped over this part that actually happened before the veto, and that was the formation of the Crown Alliance, and that is Hope, Jonathan, Daniel, Anika, and Kuzi, and I think that if Daniel is playing for the Crown Alliance, then I really, really hate this decision because Hope and Jonathan are going to be against keeping Ty in the game. But I think that his true alliance is to Anika and Kuzi. And I think Kuzi wants to keep Ty in the game. And so, yeah. I think that.
I still don't understand why Kuzi wants Ty around, especially after how he disrespected her the week before. Like I don't understand that relationship.
I don't know, because we haven't really gotten to see it. We've just we're told it last week of like, oh, hey, they're close. Whenever Ty busts out like, oh, I feel like I've won HOH too. Oh, okay. Like it's like that. Didn't realize that was a thing. And so I think that Ty feels close to Kuzi, and I feel like they were able to mend the fences. And so I think Daniel revealing it to Anika and Kuzi, I don't think it's necessarily I still wouldn't have done it myself. Possibly. I will forgive revealing that you won the veto a little more than revealing you win the HOH, because at least in the veto situation, you are showing your loyalty to somebody. Like, hey, Ty, look what I've done for you.
Look, the other obvious thing for me from a strategic perspective, because he did end up telling Ty he's using it on him, but it is that Ty, look, not all of them are very strong physically, and if the next competition is a strong competition where they need muscles, like there's a high likelihood Ty is going to win an HOH, and better Ty put somebody else up than Daniel. Like I think that's the only reason I can think of.
If the noms remained the same, who was going? Was Dan going anyway?
I think Ty would have gone.
I think Ty would have gone.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was a split house. Like, let's do the math. I think that Shania would have voted for Ty. Claudia would not have. Claudia would have voted for Dan. I think who's left? Kuzi would have voted for Dan out, maybe. Daniel, I have no idea what he would have done.
I think he would have voted, obviously, Dan out. I mean,
Dan out. So maybe we're wrong. Maybe Dan was going anyways. Anika probably would have jumped along on board with them, so that would have been another for Dan.
Right, but then I think you get Renee votes Ty out.
Jonathan would have voted Ty out, I believe.
And Hope would have voted him out. Who is the
voted Ty out? So it would have been 4-4.
Who is the sweet vote?
It would have been 4-4. Is that the HOH or
no?
Yeah, they said something about if there was a tie.
5 votes. There were 5 votes. Who are we missing?
We are missing Renee, Shania, Ty, Vanessa, Zach, Daniel, Claudia.
No, who said Claudia?
Amal, John. I don't know. We're missing people, but it would have been a lot tighter than it was.
It would have probably been like a 4 or 5 vote.
Santina is who we're missing. Santina would have voted out.
No, Santina was the HOH. We're off somewhere, but it's okay. We can figure it out later. It would have been a tight vote though. Who knows what would have happened exactly? But so I mean, I don't necessarily completely hate it from Daniel, but when he goes to tell the rest of the Crown, hey, I have won the veto. First of all, Santina with the acting. Santina. So sorry. Queen Kuzi with the acting skills coming through. Shocked that Daniel has won this power veto. She puts on a great performance. And, Hope, this is where we see him jumping on the cushions. He's so excited.
Yeah.
And then he's going to have the air let out of his little sails because
So sorry, there were 9. It would have been a tie, and then Santina would have had to break the vote.
there were 9 people voting. That's not, it can't be a tie.
There were 8 people voting, and Santina would have broken the vote. Am I wrong?
I didn't hope. No, he lost his vote last round, right?
That's why. So yeah, that's what happened. So it would have actually been Dan leaving anyways.
Okay.
Oh, because Hope didn't vote this round, right?
Correct.
Right.
Okay.
No hope.
All right. There we go. That's where we were.
Dan left anyway, and we got 2 people for fun on the block. Sounds good. But look, maybe there would have been some concessions made, some deals made to get Ty out.
Yeah.
Like he was like, it is not easy to dissociate Ty from Zach. And Ty is public enemy number 1 still. Zach is public enemy number 1 for everybody in that house, even though he's out of that house. Hell, his best friend Dan doesn't like him anymore. So like, I don't know. It might have been tighter than we think.
Yeah. All right, though, but let's get into the veto ceremony happens. Daniel has used his power of veto. He pulls Ty off of the block. Claudia goes up. Oh my gosh, we are so shooketh. Like, why is Claudia surprised? Like, you are Ty's number 1. You're, kissing him and hugging on him. Like, if he is a target and he comes off, why would you be shocked that you are the replacement?
I don't think she was that shocked. Like, I think she was upset, and it's her first time on the block. And the truth is, she's had a relatively easy game. Period. Full stop. Like, and there's actually a fair amount of people who've had a relatively easy game thus far, and they're all in jury, mostly because 3 people walked out, not because they've all played these some type of good games or not, right? So I think the shock was, wow, I've never been in danger, right? And so that's why she would have been upset or angry or shocked. But I don't think she was that shocked. I think like it must have been an idea in her head that she was up on the block. I think it would be like. She's not an idiot. So I think she knew it. She had to have known.
I think there was a conversation, wasn't there, about her being afraid that she was going to go up at some point.
I can't really remember. But if you are in the house and you see Claudia and Dan on the block, are you going to vote Dan out? Because
no.
No.
Get rid of Ty's number 1.
No. Look, but I guess the other thing is, again, there's some physical threat involved with Dan, right? So you don't want to be, yes, strategically it might make sense to vote out Claudia just because of the number, but you don't want to be at the bad side of a Dan HOH.
All right, but if you're sitting in final 2 with Dan or Claudia,
I want Dan there.
Exactly.
I want Dan everywhere. Any final 2 I'm ever at, I want him with me.
Exactly. And he's at the bottom. He feels at the bottom. So if you can scoop him up.
Well, that's the thing that I didn't fully understand. Like, that would have been like the girls remaining, the Claudia, the Renee, right? Or even the Kuzi and the like, that is a number they need to steal from Ty very quickly. And the fact that they could tell him Ty was in on the plan too, it wasn't just Zach, like that should be a relatively easy number to take, especially for Shania, who's already, has some crushes. Like, it just seems like wasted opportunities.
It's bizarre. But what BBCAN will never fail to give us, and I appreciate them for this, is a little bit of drama.
Thank you.
So Dan and Ty are going to kind of zero in on Santina here. Yes. And like, maybe it wasn't Renee. Maybe she is not the suspicious HOH that she, maybe it's Santina. And I love this confrontation. And I love them sitting down. Like, let's get Renee and let's hash it out. And like the audacity that Ty has, y'all, like he's like, yep, I'm completely in the right here. You two girls, one of you did it. It's your fault. You're both talking shit about each other. Talk about it.
One of my issue, I don't know. Like, I don't have a problem with going up to another person and wanting to have this conversation. Certainly important, certainly right. My issue always with Ty is how he has done it. His tone, his demeanor, his I'm never at fault, I'm an angel, I am perfect. Everybody else is the devil. I'm just being cast as the devil. I hate that stuff. And the truth be told, like, what did he get out of this? I don't really think he's created stronger relationships. I don't really think people are now love him more than they did the week before. Like I just don't understand what the benefit is. If anything, he's just alienating Santina, which, yes, at some point in the game, they actually were kind of working together.
Right.
I just don't understand what the strategic benefit here is.
My favorite part of the whole confrontation was Kuzi going into the next room like
dancing.
Like, I'm safe for the next 2 weeks because of all this.
Love it. Absolutely love it from her and for her. And she's right. Just like slip back under that radar and let these crazy folks just have at it. And that's what I'm saying, where I do not like Ty. I don't think I like Ty as a person. Obviously, I don't really know him, but he has some red flags for me. But I like this from a character because, once again, at least he is like creating some drama and giving some stuff. And so
and with all of this, who goes back to kiss him? Like what? Why? Like Claudia, what don't you see that this guy is not for you? This guy is going to be bad for you. This guy has some issues that he probably need. Oh, I feel bad saying this out loud, but he needs to work on shit before he gets into a Claudia relationship. Because I believe Claudia's got her shit together. I believe it, and she could run circles around Ty. So what is she doesn't need a project. She doesn't need a project to work on. Get rid of it. Come
on. Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know why she.
Like, he's good looking, great. There's a lot of other good looking guys in that house.
Good looking because
he's muscular, I guess.
He has muscles. We'll give him that. He's so unattractive to me because of his personality. And so I don't know. I don't know what she's thinking.
You used to say that about me, and now you love me. So
no, you've always been attractive to me.
Thank you so much. Don't tell your husband.
This Claudia keeps busting into the room.
All right. So one other thing I wanted to hit on is the best segment of the week from our girl Kuzi, and that is her laying in the bed with Daniel, and Daniel is like, what do you think I'm giving on the television show? Like, do you think I'm giving fierce and savage? And she's like, no, you suck.
Soft.
But her delivery was brilliant because it wasn't even meant to offend. It was just the truth. Soft.
And it's almost she has that thing that we've been talking about where she is able to like honestly tell him like, no, you're not.
And he's loving it.
Like, oh, you're so funny, Cozy. And she's like, no, but serious.
No, but seriously, it's your chance to tell them how you're a gamer because all we see is soft.
Yeah.
Your body is soft. Your game is soft. Your heart, everything is soft. It's all soft.
No. All right. Anything else before we get towards this eviction? I kind of feel like after like the last few weeks, it's really kind of anticlimactic from here.
Well, I do have a question right before the eviction. We see 2 points. Number one, Arissa, I love her style usually, but she decided to be Little Red Riding Hood. I do not know what she was wearing. There was a big long cape. I don't get it. Now,
I
I'm
didn't
not a
hate the
fashionista.
cape. I didn't hate the cape. I liked
I,
her outfit this week better than last week. So
I am not a fashion expert, so I should not be talking about this. But the cape confused me. I had to go read a story time to my nephews afterwards. I'm like, let's read Little Red Riding Hood, okay? Because this reminded me of her. Okay, second point. Don't you think it's important for game players to know when jury begins? Wouldn't that
right.
help you make a good decision as to who you let into the jury and how you let them into the jury?
Yes.
I don't I don't think that they need to know when it is. I mean, you should suspect when it is, kind of the same in Survivor. Um, you should suspect we're getting to that point in the game, and you do want to be selective of like, hey, I don't want somebody
So
like Zach on the jury because he is going to poison
hold
the
on.
jury. He is
Yeah.
persuasive, and if he is
So
against you, he is going to go hard against you.
I think you're right historically, but I think this season is weird. I think this season is strange because there's 3 people left, and so there could have been an argument in their minds of, well, maybe they're just going to make a smaller jury. Like so that suspecting starts to change, and I think it really impacts how you play the game. Because the truth is, you could backstab as many people as you want in the front or front stab or whatever in the first half of the game and not worry about it because you don't have to deal with them. But everybody else you have to treat differently, and I just sort of think it's a little bit of a disadvantage in the game to sort of spring it on them like this.
I mean, I don't think you're entitled in these types of games to know when the jury starts.
Not entitled to
Although
anything.
it is helpful information, I think, if you're playing.
By the way, are they eating slop? Where is slop? I want slop back. And where is the bad bedroom?
Ooh, we haven't seen a have not room at all. Interesting. I wonder if they have
not
one.
No
seen the have
slop
not
because they
room.
have HelloFresh.
Or did BB24 break it? Like they're like, nope, we don't want any sex on floaties, so we are not going to give them a have not room.
There's no have not room. I don't know. I think there were have nots, but we didn't
Yeah,
see
there
slop.
were at least 1 week.
What is going on to Big Brother?
It's a good question. I don't know. All right. Let's get into Claudia and Dan's campaigns. And I thought she did a good job. She made the rounds. I feel like she gave useful information as to why she would be beneficial to be kept. And Dan didn't.
Well, so I've got 2 thoughts on this. I think she went into this with an ace high.
Right.
Like she was not the plan to get out. And so I think that, to me, I was a little worried as she was going along and making some fantastic game points and basically saying, look, I know that Ty is my kryptonite, but don't worry, he is not my actual kryptonite. I will cut him when I need to cut him. I think that is the best answer that she could have given, and I think it was the right answer. However, that also shows that she's a gamer. And we put Renee as the gamer. Well, Claudia is the real gamer here, and so like I was a little bit concerned that through her campaigning she might put herself in a worse position. Except I think fundamentally Dan was so hated or feared or threatened by or a threat to other people that like they didn't put those 2 things together. They didn't do their critical thinking this week that I try to help my students to do. They didn't do that, and they just said, "Yeah, let's go." And the truth is, I wasn't completely opposed to Dan's argument. I think it made sense. I just think it was too little, too late, too much. 4 weeks of history, and like. It wasn't going to change anybody in that house.
Agreed. Spot on.
Thank you so much.
I mean, Claudia even says it in her campaign of like, I still want to make some moves. And like, I mean, those moves might be against you. And then you've got Dan over here that doesn't even have a brain, like looking like the damn Tin Man. I mean, the Scarecrow.
The damn Scarecrow.
Like the Scarecrow. Just
look again.
No brain.
I don't think it was his pitch was so bad. I just think it was too little, too late.
I guess at least he tried.
Yeah. Yeah,
He
and
did.
look,
He
he gets a
he did try a
stipend.
little bit.
He gets a
And
stipend now for the next few weeks and sit in
yeah,
some cottage an
he
hour away from
tried.
Toronto.
He tried a little. It's time for them to give their speeches, and don't vote for what's best for your game. Don't vote with your head or your heart. Vote with your stomach, because I'm going to make you some poutine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, if
Well,
he was like a really, really, really good cook, that might be a good argument.
No, it's not. It's not a good argument.
no,
What
no.
the fuck? Like,
I mean,
why? This is the best we could cast.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Like they
yep.
knew. Listen, it was an 8-0 vote. He knew he was going home. Claudia knew she was staying, so he wanted to bring a little bit of levity. He wasn't that shocked when he walked out the door. It was it was done. It was over. Well, they did an
Sure, but I
inhibition
still hate
ceremony.
it. I can hate it just as much. I don't
Yeah,
care if
yeah,
you
I
knew that
hate
it was
it.
coming or not.
You just hate him.
I don't
I
even.
just
I
really
have
love
no
food.
feelings. I have no feelings towards him. That is the first thing that he has done in this whole game that made me have any feelings, and it was hate.
Look, I'll tell you how I feel about him. When we have players like Dan in that house, I feel like there's so many people who have been loyal to Big Brother Canada for decades, and they probably auditioned for the show, and Dan and they didn't get in, and Dan got in. Why? Because he has three muscles and is good looking and knows how to do DJ work. Like
Yep.
It's because of his social media presence. I 100% can guarantee
but
that.
it's just so silly. And like, I listen. I'm sorry. This guy is from Canada. I doubt his social media presence is enormous. It's not. It's not millions of people. Okay, so it's not like this is going to bring millions of new fans to watch the show. Like, I just don't get it. It's just a waste. And I'm sorry. This show is not a money making thing. There's a reason why it airs on weird nights. There's a reason why it airs at 7 p.m. Eastern time. There's a reason why they have a toothpaste company and a vacuum company and this every season having to give them money. That's the only reason they're still in the business. I'm okay with all of that. So at least give us some more sponsors and give us good people on the show, please and thank you. Dan was unnecessary.
Yeah. Like you're right. I don't know. I don't know why we had him. It was a disappointment. I don't care that he's gone. I'm glad that Claudia stayed over him in terms of like she is going to be interesting. Hopefully, she's not just, stuck on Ty figuratively and literally, and we can see her try to play the game, which we would not have gotten from Dan. So,
Yep.
bye, Dan. See you never. All right, that wraps up Who Done It Week in the BBCAN house. And it's not a question of who done it because everybody knows because they all have big mouths. So we end with the start of an endurance HOH comp. Who do y'all think has a good shot at this?
Ty,
A woman.
probably one of the girls.
Yeah.
I mean, like when I was looking at it, I was like, okay, Claudia has a chance to win this. I feel like she's tiny. She,
Santina would have done well
Like,
with this
who
probably.
wants it? Claudia might want it after being on the block.
right. Like I could see Claudia doing well.
I would not mind a nice Anika week because I want to see more of Anika because we keep on getting glimpses of her being super spicy and fun and interesting, and I kind of want to see what she does when she has power. I don't think it's going to be helpful for Kuzi's game, but I kind of want to see more. Look, you're giving me that look, Kylie, and the truth is that look is because we actually don't want anybody except for Kuzi to win an HOH. The problem is that's not going to happen. So give me somebody who might give me some spice.
Well, guys, I have a spoiler for you.
What?
Do y'all want to know who the HOH is?
I do want to know who the HOH and
Hey,
why.
if you do not want a spoiler, then you should head out right now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Your HOH is Ty. Which y'all, I hate it. Okay, Renee. kind of hate it because we're going to have so much Ty on the screen and I just don't want it. But I also kind of love it because it will be the most interesting of the choices.
Good job, Daniel.
Well, is it going to be an interesting of a choice, or is it that we're about to see Santina and Renee on the block?
You're right.
Well,
Like there isn't a choice here. We know.
I think
we
you're
know
going
who's
to
on
see
the block.
Santina and Renee on the blog, but you are going to get holier than thou Ty telling them why for a whole week, why they have erred and how they have done him wrong. And it is going to be a whole week of Ty just singing his own praises and just really, really loving himself and, getting revenge on these two evil women. I don't know which one of y'all was the secret HOH, so you're both going up. And if there was any hope of the Girls Alliance coming together and making it through this was the nail in the coffin because our girl Claudia is definitely going to go with her boyfriend and not Renee. So,
Yep. But look,
R.I.P. Girls Alliance.
it's over. It's over. It's over. That doesn't mean there won't be girls in the final, by the way. But the Girls Alliance is over.
Correct.
And I will say that
Shocking.
the girls have given us a lot of fun and drama this season. Like without Kuzi and Renee, I don't know what we have here. But there has been some good female stuff going on, and to me, one of the reasons why I was not very upset or annoyed that Ty suggested he was going to leave that house with Zach, because he's not going to win the game anyways. So the only thing he's going to do is take opportunities away from other people. So bye bye Renee or Santina. It was nice to know you.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we probably lose an interesting female this week. I mean, there's a slight chance he puts up like an Anika or a Hope if he's like super like deep in his feelings hurt about Hope still.
But here's the thing, like I think that in usual Big Brother, you're right, that could have happened, except I think Ty is so cocky, nobody's going to get in his head.
Yeah.
So, like, not even his girlfriend, who is aligned with Renee, will get in his head. Like, I think
he's going to do whatever he wants. Nobody is going to be able to talk to him or influence him in any type of way. I mean,
I really hope Renee doesn't go. She has to pay her law bills.
All right. Any other thoughts on Who Done It week, y'all?
It doesn't feel like there was enough Who Done It, or I should say, there wasn't enough Done It.
Yeah,
I needed more Done It. Let's turn the risk level up a lot higher.
Let's hit the rewind button. Let's do it again. No. Karen, any other thoughts on BBCAN 11?
I mean, I'll keep watching it. Which is a good. I mean, it's still not something that like I forget about it for quite a few days. So, like I just caught up from the whole like Hope letter drama and Zach, like this week because I forgot about it. But I mean, I'll follow.
We'll see what happens. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we will be back next Friday to talk all about the past week of BBCAN 11 and to see what Ty does with his reign of terror, because that is what we are setting ourselves up for. And of course, we will be back Thursday to talk about the true first merge episode of Survivor, where we get our first member of the jury, and we will see who the mayor of Ponderosa will be and talk all about the exciting happenings on Survivor. All right, make sure you like and subscribe so you get a notification every time we go live, and we will see you guys next time. Bye, y'all.
Have a good weekend.